Welcome to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Hey, that's me. Hi, and welcome to Positive Talk. Our show features the best positive stories and people from around the globe as we endeavor to answer the universal question of why am I here and what is my purpose? Understanding that can change everything, and knowing your greatness is fundamental to living your best life. So join us right now as together we work to create the adventure of our lifetime. And let me see here. We've got representatives from Salt Lake City, from New York City, and from Seattle, Washington. And they are, I'm talking in the third person when there are only three of us here. That is so weird. It's the three of us today, and we've got a great show for you. And so stay with us the entire time. Brachelle, who is an associate of mine, who is newer with us, but is learning the ropes, as it were, and stuff. And I'm going to have her throw her into the deep end and have her introduce our guest for the hour, if that's okay. Brachelle, I defer to you, my dear.
Well, welcome everybody. We love to have you. Today we are welcoming Giovanna Tartarone. Go give her a good look out. She works with Sparking Change with Gigi, Sparking Change for Harmonious Living and Living in Faith. If anybody wants to go and listen, she also has her own shows that she does that fit just directly into what we do. And of course, the lovely Kevin McDonald, we all love. And I love to have you all here. So welcome to the show, everybody.
You know, I've been called a lot of things lately. Lovely is not one of them.
I think it fits, Kevin. I think we can roll with it.
I, I think so. Giovanna, thank you for coming. How are you?
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. I'm so honored to be here and just have a great time today with you. I feel the positivity already coming right through the screen. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
I love your accent, by the way. And I know you don't think you've got one, but you've got a wonderful, lovely New York accent.
Well, you know, it is part Italian from Italy and New York. Do you hear the Italian
Love
part?
it.
No, I don't know any mafia people. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that. I don't want any mafia people at my house either. But no. So
Let's go to the good stuff.
You're originally from Italy.
I am. I was born there.
What part?
Naples, Italy.
Oh, I've heard that's a wonderful place.
It is a beautiful place. It is a beautiful place. I haven't been there for over 18 years, but it is a beautiful place, though. I need to go visit.
What? Do you still have family there?
I have my sister who's there, yes. But now she has her two boys that are here, so she comes to visit us. So it saves me the trip of going there. But
perfect.
I do have to take a vacation and go back and visit my hometown for sure.
Now, Brachelle, she was introduced to us. Oh, wait a minute. I get ahead of myself sometimes. So let me back up just a little bit.
Sure.
I got an email over the weekend from a gentleman whose name is Reverend Stanley. Okay. And he's emailed me once before. I do not know where they are, do not know who he is precisely. But again, he said, thank you for doing the show that you do. My whole staff listen to your show every day. And so we love what you're doing, and you're adding so much to what we do, because he takes some of the things that we talk about here and puts them out there from the lectern on Sundays as well.
Beautiful.
So I just want to give him a shout out and his crew, wherever they are. I have no earthly idea where, but it's important that we acknowledge those folks. So, and it really makes, Brachelle, doesn't it make you feel like we're having an impact?
It truly does. I have even taken Ubers here and there all across town, and then they saved my number somehow from that Uber, and they text it, and they were like, I subscribed. I love everything about what you guys do. So it's really an honor to be able to be involved in doing something like this. I really hope we have internet for the end of time so we can keep it going.
Well, and you do very similar work to what we do, my dear. Tell us what you do.
I do. So, I'm all about spreading information that will help people to really know that there's so much more that they have within them, that they can do, be, and have anything they want if they honor themselves first. And bringing the work that I do is help to bring awareness how they can totally be in control of their life. And, my own personal journey has, as an educator, I've never learned some of the stuff that I'm learning now to understand who we really are and how we can help ourselves. And really, it comes down to finding out the purpose, like, why are we here? Having a purpose and knowing that we're here to serve each other is where we become happy. It's a happiness that we can't expect anyone to make us happy, right? We have to be happy. So I bring out awareness to the world that you can be happy if you connect to that true self, that inner being, your soul, and listen to your soul. Because at one point in my life, I wasn't listening to my soul. I was listening to the outside world, and the outside world got me cancer because I was so afraid of everything that was going on. So I went down this path where I had a spiritual awakening. And now I understand that we are truly beautiful beings who can really give back to the world, because that's why we're here. So it's finding your true purpose. And I went into personal development. I started understanding the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, beliefs and emotions, and how all of that drives our life. And this is what I bring to the show, is bring awareness to that.
I have to ask you, do you
Sure.
know who Neil Donald Walsh is?
Of course I do. Did he write this book?
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yes, that is his book. Go you girl. I told you she was awesome, Kevin.
Did you read this book?
yeah, of course. Of course.
Okay.
Well, I've interviewed him on several occasions,
Oh my
and
goodness.
you are the epitome. You've obviously read his material. Well, but even so, you would have discovered this material whether or not you read his books or not, because you are open to it. And we
Yes.
are all one. And my favorite thing is we're all one. There
Yes.
is nothing that you have to do, and there is enough. Those
Oh,
those
yes.
so we and also, by the way, the be do have. There's a short story I have to tell about that if I can.
Yeah.
I had a friend from your neck of the woods, and he was living out here, and I was saying, and I was had read Neil's books and a couple of them, book one and book two, Conversations with God. And I said to him, it's not a matter of doing life, your being life. And he said, no, 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 no. You got to do stuff. If you don't do stuff, nothing's going to happen. He was from New Jersey. And I said, that's not how it works. It's
Yeah.
you, if you be something, you have to be something before you can do something. And he said, I don't understand. So anyway, a long story short, I asked Neil about it the last time I interviewed him, and he gave a beautiful dissertation of the differences between being something and trying to do something in
Hmm.
order to be something. You have to be it before you can do it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can, if you're not happy, if you're not being happy, how can you possibly go out and do something, right? You're going to probably lay in bed and do nothing because you're not happy. But being, a state of being is actually connecting to your to your soul. Like your being is giving gratitude for who you are first, and then you can go out there and share with the world. I remember I was taking a walk one day and talking about uh, Neil Walsh. I was listening to a YouTube video, and he says he was in his 50s. He said he spent half of his life where he finally learned it's not about him. Neil, it's not about you. I remember those words like it was yesterday that I was listening to him, and he's like, wow, so I've been on this earth thinking that I had to do, when in fact you had to be connected with other people and be giving, be, all the things that doesn't cost any money, right? Being does not cost a dime. Where do, what are you trying to do? You can't do much if you're thinking about just doing. So being is extremely important.
And if you're just doing, you end up just creating a pile of doo-doo.
That's where the mess comes in. That's where the chaos comes in. Why? Because you get so tired of doing and you're thinking, I have many certificates, I'm looking at the wall here. And that was all my doing. And all my doing got me disconnected from my true being, my true self. Because I wanted to achieve so much and get so much. And I, like you just said, you go down this path where you think you have to do it all. And so you lose connection to your being. And if there is not a balance between the doing and the being, harmonious balance between body, mind, and spirit, that's the doing and the being, you can get lost. That's where people truly get lost.
When did you begin this journey? Because as you heard in the opening, I
Mm-hmm.
talk a lot about why am I really here? And what are we here to do? I believe that everybody at one point in time in their life has those thoughts. Whether you act on them or not, it's a wholly different question. That's up to you.
Correct.
But if you ever have those thoughts of why am I really here
Mm.
and what am I here to do, did you have a moment, or was it like a epiphany, or was it like a series of experiences for you, including the cancer that you had?
So the cancer was a big wake up call for me. So I've had many experiences, but the cancer was the major one. And knowing that I've done so much to achieve so much, being an immigrant from Italy, I was an achiever. Like I needed to get the plaques on the walls. I needed to show my family that I could do it. So when I got the cancer, I was in shock because I said, I went into the closet after I got the news and I closed the light and I say, God, why me? So I started asking the why questions, like why me? And I did hear a little voice that said, why not? So that was my little intuition saying, what is that supposed to mean? But I know what it meant. It meant you didn't do, you did all the doing. You never stopped to be, right? So shortly after the cancer, one day during COVID, I was listening to a webinar by Bob Proctor. I don't know if you heard of Bob Proctor.
Wonderful man.
Absolutely, he's my mentor, late mentor, and whatever he said, and I don't remember specifically, but he woke up my soul. He woke me up, and I'm like, should I do this? Should I invest in this program? What is this about? Because he was just saying things about how we are so powerful and we can have everything we want. It's just we need to control the thinking, right? So the program, it was the paradigm shift was the name of the webinar. And as an educator, a master's in banking, a master's in education, my real estate license, esthetician license, I did so much, and I'm like, I never learned what the word paradigm is. Like what is, and then I understood a multitude of habits and all of that. So I got into personal development. And when he was speaking about the subconscious mind, it led me to the book Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton. I don't know if you ever heard of it, heard of
I
it.
haven't read the book yet, but I know who Bruce is.
So then I started really opening up my eyes, and there was a energy modality that he was mentioning and endorsed, which is Psyche. And I'm like, what is this? So I started digging deeper, right? Because as an educator, you dig until you try to find the answers. And that's kind of like where I had my spiritual awakening from getting into energy work. And now I understand that there's a whole another world that we're not aware of. And like you said, if you're ready to receive, I was at a point where I was ready to receive. And I'm Catholic. I always believed in God. I still do, but now from a different perspective, totally different perspective. And I don't have to be Catholic to believe in God. Now I understand that, because it's something greater than us. There's a life force within us that, truly drives who we are, if you're open to receiving. But there's a lot of inner work.
Yeah, but you know what? The inner work is fun. Whether it's meditating or whether it's learning how to smile when you're talking to people, whether it's listening more.
True, but the inner work that's not fun, that people don't want to go down that path, is all those little, demons that are hiding, all the things that hurt them, that they don't want to go down that path to, just shove them under the rug. And those are the things that are holding us back from being our true self.
And you know what I've just discovered about that, and Rochelle will tell you this because I've told her the same thing, is that once you recognize that and you understand the experiences that you've had as being like, I had a bad country music song experience, which was like lasted 3 or 4 years. A bunch of stuff went wrong, but the reality is that you get through it and then you're better for it, and then you can forgive yourself and others that are around it, and then you can move on.
Right.
Yeah.
It's moving on and not holding any grudges. I know I learned there are 4 things, and I wrote them down because I didn't want to forget. There are 4 things, 4 pillars of success that, everyone should embrace, right? So that we can manage the struggles that come along. 1 is love yourself unconditionally. 2 is forgive everyone. Don't hold any grudges. Dr. Wayne Dyer says, it's not the snake bite that kills you, it's the venom. So what are you holding inside that's hurting you versus hurting the other person? Don't judge anyone. You don't know their story. That's 3. You don't know their story. So when you meet someone and you're judging for the way they look and what they're wearing and how their hair is or what they said, don't do it, because I know that just comes back to you, right? And 4, do things intentionally. Do all those 3 things intentionally, with intention. That means love yourself. Make it a point to really fill up your cup first. Because if your cup is not filled up, how can you give someone love if you don't have love for yourself? If you don't love yourself, right? How can you everything starts from us. And I, before knowing all this, was expecting happiness from the outside, when truthfully the happiness starts from the inside. Loving yourself, making sure that you know that you're worthy to receive everything. Because all of that, I believe, I haven't met anyone who's had a perfect childhood. But Dr. Bruce Lipton says from a young age.
I may be the first person that has a perfect childhood, except for the time my brother hung me by the neck. Other than that, or put me in the dryer. Other than that, or put grass on my nose. Other than that, anyway. So go ahead.
It's okay. But all of that, those things truly affect us when we get older. So it's forgiving and letting go and surrendering. That's one of the things I've truly learned during my journey, is surrendering. And that's where all the great things started coming into my life. I'm thinking into results certified consultant. I'm an energy healer practitioner. I'm a TV host.
TV star.
I met right? I met Oprah. Like all of these things don't.
You met Oprah. That's not fair. She hugged you. I saw the picture. You can't deny it.
But all of the things, and you know what? I'm not special. I'm telling you right now, I'm not special. Everyone can do this. I don't have any secret genie inside of me. We all have the same genie inside of us. So it's just really going into that, on that path of wanting more. I wanted to know more. I wanted to know who I was and why I was here. So I went down this path. I asked and I was given, because I wanted to know. Like, all of us work so hard to live a good life. And when we're not, we're blaming other people. And the fact is, we have to look inside and say, what are we doing? Because when we change, this is true fact, when we change, our world changes.
Yep.
So it's all starts with us. And it's
Well, I was just going to say, I've got to ask you. So, have you discovered your true meaning and purpose as yet, or are you still working towards that? Or is it a journey that you are continuing to evolve as you go down the adventure of a lifetime? And who knows where you're going to end up?
I know my purpose is to serve. I know the journey will never end. We are internal beings. The journey will never end. So I'm always learning. I'm always finding ways to bring out the information, because it's about knowing and having faith that whatever path you're on, it's meant to be. Like I said, I think that I said at the beginning, there's no accidents or coincidences.
Nope, there aren't.
Well, there isn't. So I know I'm here for a purpose. And, when you know why you're here, and and you're doing something you love, right? You're here to share your gifts, and we all have gifts. And you say, okay, well, what is it? Well, what is it that you love to do? Use those gifts and go serve others. But instead, we live in a world that is dictating what we should do. So because we're living in that kind of world, we're doing things that we're just trying to survive. So we're not looking at the gifts that we hold. We're looking at who can pay us. And it's not who can pay us. It's what can you bring to the world? Then the money comes. But
Well, it's interesting, Brichelle. By the way, this conversation is going to cost you $500 because it's worth every penny. Just putting it out there. But no, I'm kidding, because Brichelle is going down that road right now. I've known her, gosh, most of your life. I've known you. Okay, I've known you 3 months. And she's had lots of challenges in that time, but she is working, and it was, by the way, it was a God thing, and there were no accidents that she got to talk to you the other day for the 15-minute. And
it was not 15 minutes, Kevin. I spent a good hour, and I honestly love everything about you, Giovanna. I could talk to you all day long.
And you are a bright light shining, and I can't wait to see you bloom, really, because you have it within you to share with the world, especially the younger generation, how if they start now to understanding the journey that you're going through, and you can guide them, you're setting up for the next generation to be much healthier than this generation. I will tell you that. And it's
I have to tell all of our people too. The two things Kevin has taught me and told me that live inside of my brain, my soul, all the way deep down and through me every single day is nothing happens to you, it happens for you. Realizing that and being able to, how you say, when you start to change, everything you see or thought about is converted into something else. And it's an extreme. Like sometimes I'll call Kevin with just these beautiful stories or something I experienced, and I'm just crying, but it's so much happiness, and it makes me feel so strong, and it doesn't cost me any money. It just takes what's inside of me. The second thing Kevin taught me was to take out need from my vocabulary. I have made that a rule in my house. We do not need anything but ourselves. And instead of changing that into the want, um, he told me there's only choice. You only choose. So now, as I think about things and I make my decisions and I'm guiding myself through my life, we talked about this as well, Giovanna, on the 15-minute.
Yes.
It's however you choose to see it is how it is. If you tell your brain it is this, your brain believes you. And you're right. All opinions can be fact or false. So I loved that conversation with you. And on that note, I wrote this down. It was something you told me.
Hold on just a second. Hold that thought for just a moment, because
a break.
We need to take a break real quick. And we're talking with Giovanna
Tartarone.
Perfect. Tartarone. Yeah. And we need to take a quick, just 30 seconds, I promise. And we'll be right back. And Brichelle's going to tell us what was on her mind.
They have your eyes. They have your ears. They have your smile. Now all they need is a little more of your time. Make a difference in your child's life, because anyone can be a father. It takes time to be a dad.
And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. And I like to play that just because it gets the energy up and everybody moving and stuff like that. And Rochelle, I apologize, young lady. I interrupted you in the middle of a very important sentence. Keep going.
Well, I'm glad that we did take that break because if I wouldn't have reminded you, I would have forgot to. So go you, Kevin. So for anybody listening, I want you to hear these words. I will repeat it twice. This has been in my mind. I kept this piece of paper and I have it pinned on my wall, Giovanna. And I would just like you to explain more of what it even means because I cannot figure it out. And it's been crucial for me to hear, but my brain doesn't know how to understand it. When we did our 15 minutes, everybody, Giovanna told me this, and I'm here now to try to understand it. She told me, you're surrendering, asking for another chance, and it doesn't have to be that way. Can you explain that a little more, Giovanna, for us?
Sure. So from my own personal experience, I thought I had it all. Had everything that, the American dream, right? Had it all. And I surrendered. When I thought that my time was up. And I know now that most of us, a lot of people go through what I went through and surrender when they're so struggling so bad that they can't do it anymore. And it doesn't have to be that way because it's all about finding what your purpose is and what you love to do and reconnect to your authentic self. So many of us, or I'll speak for myself, was trying to prove to the world who I was. When the truth of the matter is I didn't have to prove anything to anyone. I just had to be myself. When I came here from Italy, I changed my name from Giovanna to Joanne because I did not want people to know I was Italian. I didn't speak English. I was an immigrant because I was made fun of. My sister was Maddalena. She changed her name to Marilyn, and I changed my name to Joanne after my second grade teacher. And I went through all my 40 years of life. I wanted to share something, but I went through my years of, adulthood. Even my mortgage was under Joanne until I got hit with cancer. And I'm like, yeah, Kevin, I know you're looking like, how did they do that? But banks make mistakes too. But
It's a miracle.
But until I realized that I changed my identity to be something that I wasn't. And I was trying so hard to be that successful Joanne that I had to surrender. I had to surrender because I know that when we're getting to that point, there's no one else that can really help us. To me, I call it God, infinite intelligence. You may have whatever name you have, but it's the same thing. That when I surrendered and I connected myself to God and asked for another chance at life, he said, are you ready? Then he brought me all this personal development work into my life. And I was just like, I was soaking it up like a new baby, like, oh my goodness, what is this? Thoughts become things. I'm on Napoleon Hill. I studied Napoleon Hill, 17 Principles of Success. I'm a Napoleon Hill coach, and I'm studying faith, discipline, and all these things that we know, but we don't do because we're just so busy doing. And so I stand here to tell all your viewers, know that there is something within you that you don't have to wait to surrender. Don't wait. Everyone feels something greater, has something greater, and they feel it, but they don't know how to go about it. And there are, many places that you can go ask for help to really connect to who you are, because it's not about impressing people. It's about helping people. It's about being connected with people instead of being jealous. I talk about, we learn competition is good. Well, no, cooperation is even better. Creating unity is even better. The reason why we feel so lost is because we are disconnected from each other. But you take right.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just gonna add to that and to say it becomes a competition because somewhere we get the impression that there's not enough. There's not enough for you. There's not enough for me. The fact of the matter is, there is enough for everyone.
Plenty of trees. The sun shines on everyone. Plenty of water. When we feel that way, it's not. When we feel lack, is that we don't understand who we are. We don't understand the Creator. There is no lack. There is no lack. And if we can understand that we're all here to help each other, that's where the abundance comes in. Because you help me, I help you, and then it feels good. Yeah. So when you're surrendering to the point where you can't do it anymore because you're not feeling good, then that means something's missing in the equation. And what's missing is our connection to the Creator, to something bigger than us. So to me, that's what I want to teach. That is my job here on this earth. I gotten a second chance, and I know the second chance was for a reason, a good reason.
And people are asking me in the audience, are you well today?
I'm perfectly well. I am perfectly well. Thank you.
That is just awesome. And I want to leave. I have to take a station break, but I want to leave people with this thought. There was a gentleman by the name of Bob Proctor. He's no longer with us, but he had a major impact on your life, like he did my other friend that I interviewed last week, Michelle Blood. And she was on stage with him and she would sing. And because she was a rock star from Australia, and the impact that he had that he may not know, because she is also a teacher and she's doing very much what you're doing in a different way and with her own imprint and the way that it works for her. And I think Bob knew who he was working with and how important his work was. And that's why he kept on doing it till the day he passed away virtually.
Yes.
And so but we can all do that. It's not a question of, oh no, you can't do that. You need to go, pack groceries for a living or whatever it is. You can do anything you choose to do. It's pretty freeing, I must say. And we need to take a station break, and we will be right back with more. And then we're going to talk to you about who you choose to be in the future, about there's just so much. Rochelle, we're just let me take a station break. I'm speechless. I'm beyond words. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
As you go about your daily life, look closer. As you gather with family and friends who love and support you, look closer. There are youth right in your community who don't have the home, warmth, and healing you have. So look closer. Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. And for 50 years, Covenant House has worked relentlessly to keep them safe and protected. Tonight, 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed. And tomorrow, they will wake up surrounded by love. They get clean clothes, hot meals, medical care, and a safe place to sleep. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In sites across America to help them fulfill the great promise of their lives. So look closer at Covenant House. To help or get help, go to covenanthouse.org.
And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald and Rochelle. I played that public service announcement to honor you, because I know that when you were a child, that you went through some difficult times with your mother and that sort of thing. And I wanted you to know that you are on your way. I am really am honestly so proud of you.
Thank you. You're gonna make me tear up. I've done a lot of work and I've got to give a lot of it to you, Kevin, because you are a very special and huge support to me. I really don't know what I would be doing if I hadn't met you, working at the school as a lunch lady in the bathroom. And I'm thankful to be here in all the ways. Also, for all of our listeners, I want you guys to know, correct me if I'm wrong, Giovanna, and thank you again for being here. We absolutely love and adore you.
Thank you.
You have a book that just came out, Power of the Rainbow, is that correct? And you kind of talk about your journey and your story a little bit more. So, for any of our listeners that would like to learn a little bit more and dig deep and understand and get your own taste on more of what we are doing here and talking about with Giovanna, go look up Power of the Rainbow. And thank you so much for sending that to me. Um, I have started reading it and I'm in love. It had me hooked, like from the get. So,
Yeah, it's part of my journey. We all go through stuff, but sometimes when you truly go through the struggles, that's really what the message is that you want to bring out to the world. So,
right.
when I wrote the book, it's my experiences of, I met so many teachers along the way, that I took something from each and every one of them and created the Power of the Rainbow, 7 Steps, Sparking Change in You. And it's really 7 steps to understanding. It's a framework. It's a framework that I do with my coaching program to help people really bring out the best in them. Because
Right.
we all, like I said, we all have gifts to share. So each letter of the rainbow represents a step. So R represents reconnecting with your authentic self, listening to that inner voice, and honoring it because it's always steering you in the right direction, and following it because it's really meant for you to find your purpose and your gifts. Um, A is for awareness. When I started to study how thoughts become things, especially with the Napoleon Hill Institute, which is Bob studied Think and Grow Rich for over 60 years. That's the famous book he studied. And that Napoleon Hill landed in my lap. Again, no accident, no coincidence. But when I started studying that, how thoughts become things. So we must be aware, what are we saying to ourselves? What thoughts are we having? What is our attitude, right? Like all of that drives our actions and our results. Thoughts, feelings, and action gets your results. I is for the imagination. Imagination we thought was just when we were little kids. Well, no, the imagination is so powerful. It's a tool that we all have that we can use. And I needed to hone in on my imagination in order to get well as well, to overcome my challenges, because everything starts in the imagination. Doesn't matter what you have. It was first in somebody's mind and then it came into physical form. So everything starts in the imagination, right? And it's for nurturing. Like I said before, nurturing yourself, nurturing your soul. You come first. How could you serve someone? How could you, be share love if you don't love yourself? So nurturing yourself and taking time for yourself is truly important. B is for beliefs, right? What beliefs do we have that are holding us back? We come with a lot of beliefs from our parents, our school, our environment, but are they yours? Did you create them? To examine those beliefs that truly keep us stuck. Always for being optimistic, having an attitude of gratitude, being positive. That's why I love your show, Kevin, right? Because we know that when we have a positive attitude, you have power. And this was a quote from someone: you have power over your circumstances versus your circumstances having a power over you. So if you're taking control of, having a positive mental attitude, no matter what's in front of you, and just being there, there's got to be, every experience we have, there's a lesson to be learned in that experience. So asking, what lesson should I be learning from this versus putting out negative out there, right? and W's for wins. Once you do these 6 steps, you have to celebrate the wins that you encounter, small or big. Everything you do, you need to celebrate you before anybody else can celebrate you. You need to celebrate yourself for the accomplishments that you make. And those are kind of like the 7 steps I go through with my clients.
That's
Those are great
beautiful. Thank you for
great
sharing that.
7
Yeah.
steps. Yeah.
Thank
And I got to tell you real quick story about that. I was a assistant manager at one food company, and I went into another food company. Just walked into the front door of this particular restaurant, and walked up to where the hostess is, and there was a middle-aged man standing there. He was the general manager of that particular restaurant, and I said, I'm looking for. I live right down the street. I'd love to have a job closer to home, and gave him my resume, and he said, wait right there. He leaves and he goes and gets the district sales manager, and because they were short a manager at this particular location at this particular time, so I sat down with a district sales manager, and he hired me on the spot. And so I quit the other place, and then I went to the first restaurant meeting that I went to. The other assistant manager is standing there, and we're talking. And I said, well, how do you like it here? And he said, it's great if you want to be an assistant manager your whole life. And I said, what do you mean? He said, there are only 4 restaurants, and those guys, they love their jobs. They're not leaving, so you're going to be an assistant manager for as long as you're here. And I said, I don't think so. I think that I can rise above that, and I think I'll be okay. And I set about working hard and doing the best job I could, having a good attitude, creating some new things that they had not seen before. And one of the general managers left. That assistant manager ended up working for me at the other location
I
because he
love it.
transferred. And so I
I
walked
love
in,
it.
and he was still the assistant manager, and I was now the general manager. I was the first one to get promoted because I believed in who I was and what I could do, and
Beautiful.
so I just did it. People can
I
do
always,
that.
I always say we are the ones that put the brakes on
Yeah.
ourselves.
Mm.
We're the ones who either criticize ourselves or it's what we say. I think it's Henry Ford that says, if you think you can, if you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yep.
right.
So, it's again, examine what we're saying. And I tell you, words are powerful. So what you're saying to yourself, you're actually creating. And people say, how can I be creating what's happening to me? But think about what you're thinking, because if you're going to think about baking a cake, you're going to get all the things you need, right? You're going to get other thoughts about, okay, I need the spatula, I need the eggs, I need the butter, I need the you have all these thoughts magnetized to that one thought. Well, the same thing is if you think you're sick that day, all of a sudden you're like, my back hurts, I have to stay in bed, I'm not, I'm going to call in sick today. But think if you thinking positive thoughts, what's going to happen there now? Let's go to the beach. Okay, we need the towel, we need the sun lotion, we need, so and it makes you happy, right? Automatically. So it's what we say that really matters, and being cognizant of our words, because we're speaking and the universe is listening, right?
I love how you mentioned that higher power too, Giovanna, about um, it's always there, it's always alive, it's always available, and it's up to us, like you say, to have those breaks on.
Yeah,
And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that everything is energy, right? Like everything that you do and you feel and you think is the energy you're putting out. What you put out is what you get. Um,
absolutely.
I, it took me a long time to learn that. I almost liked being angry for this portion of time before I met Kevin, and everything just kept getting worse. It would be back to back to back to back to back things. Just like even at work, I would not forgive myself, and I would not be open, and I would make a mistake. I would burn a pizza for the kids, or I would drop something on the floor or whatever. And instead of just moving past that and um, not being so hard on myself, I would get burned, and then it was just all these things were happening. And when I learned to change that, I actually started praying over the food as I made it all day for the kids. And it was crazy to see how they responded to me. Like there was certain kids that would come to whatever station I was at to eat whatever I was serving, because it wasn't about necessarily the food. It was about being able to come and see me and know they were getting it from me. And
They
I
felt your
still do that
energy,
to this
right?
day.
They felt your
Right.
energy. It's
Everything is
funny.
energy.
That's right. I was at home and I was listening to something on YouTube, and all of a sudden there's a commercial, and I'm like, oh, there you go, commercials, right? But the guy was talking about solar panels, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, I'm not going to buy solar panels. Let's go. I want to hear right. But then he says something at the end, and I did a quick Facebook post on this, and he goes, own your energy. So he's talking about like financing and owning the solar panels, and he says, own your energy. I'm like, own your energy. Oh my goodness. But that's so right.
Do you know that's a bumper sticker and a t-shirt?
No kidding. I love it. If I can get my license plate like that, I probably would do it too. But own your energy. And okay, studying energy, I understand that emotion is energy in motion. Your emotion is energy in motion. So I'm like, own your emotions. What does that mean? If you're feeling down and out, do something to pick yourself up, because the vibration of that emotion, right? Low emotions are anger, frustration, fear, doubt, worry. High vibration, love, happy, joy. Joy meaning, it doesn't have to be like jump up and down for joy, but having compassion for yourself, right? That's joy. So bringing those high emotions and owning your energy, I was like, that is such a good slogan. Such a good slogan. Own your energy, because we are in charge of ourselves. We don't like to be told what to do. The soul does
Right.
not like to be told what to do. So if you're in charge of yourself, then you can switch, like turning the lights on and turning the lights off. Are
Mm-hmm.
you waiting for somebody outside of you to make you happy? No, happiness starts within. And when you're happy within, that means you know who you are. You value yourself. You respect yourself first. You can,
Right.
if you are out there going, no one respects me, well, you probably don't respect yourself, because everything starts with you. Let's stop blaming the outside for our circumstances and look within, because that's where the change needs to happen. And I was ready for change. I surrendered. And I believe that many need to surrender, because you did not come here to suffer. You came here to spread joy and love and be happy. If it's not happening, please look in the mirror, because what we feel emanates out. So if we feel crappy, we're sending crappy feelings out to the world. And so, if you're getting on the bus, that bad energy is touching everyone else. And then everybody else feels crappy. You're right. We are energetic beings. There's a part
Not
of us.
on my bus. Did you know I drove a bus for 12 years?
Did you really?
In Seattle, I drove a 60-foot bus for 12
And I
years.
could just picture you right now with owning your
Yeah.
energy and making everybody laugh.
I'll be riding the bus all day.
That's where I learned about energy, because that's where it was cemented for me, because I drove a bus where I could have as many as 60 or 70 or 80 people on that bus. And the attitude that bus and the energy that it had was incumbent upon me to provide that energy and nobody else. So
Yeah.
when I was a positive role model and said hello to everybody and hi, how you doing? I had people give me presents at the end. We had what's called
believe
shake ups. And I had people give me presents like, thank you. You've been a lot of fun to ride with. Where are you going next? They would tell me, because it's
Yeah.
important that we do that, and we have that power. We don't recognize how powerful we are.
We are very
And
powerful.
and the other thing I wanted to mention is, Rochelle, your age group has to deal with this more than mine does. But how many people do you know that says, all I need to do is to find a good boyfriend and that will make me whole?
All of them. They all say that. I just need me. Just please, just leave me alone. I'm good.
But they've got it all backwards.
That's
It's
right.
not them coming to you, it's you putting your energy out there, and the right energetic person will resonate with you, and then you can have what I call 100%. 100%. It ain't 50-50. It's everybody giving their
That's
all.
right. That's right.
I love
Because
that.
we're supposed to help each other rise, right? To
Right.
do better and support each other. So it's not you do 50 and the other one does 50. But it does all start with us. And the younger generation, I have an 18-year-old daughter. I remember one time I took my daughter, and this was probably 3 years ago. So I would say she was 15. There's three of them. It was July, and we were going to Great Adventure. So I got the kids in the car and we're driving. And I started putting on Christmas songs, Jingle Bells. You had to see them. They were having such a ball, right? I think they were having more fun on the ride there than actually the ride on the roller coaster, because they were all so laughing and having a good time. And again, that good energy, do you know, that is medicine for the body. That is medicine for the body. When you have those feelings of high vibration and feeling good, this is where your cells rejuvenate, right?
And they're now proving that to be true. We need to take a quick break, and we're going to talk more about your consciousness, that they're now saying, hey, guess what? Who knew? There actually is one. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Positive Talk Radio. We're going to take a short break to tell you audio and music creators about our commercial affiliate, Lyric Vids, specializing in creating amazing and engaging lyric videos. Are you looking to promote your videos in the most engaging way, but you don't have an animator and an editor? Whether you're an artist, musician, or business with a message to share, our lyric videos are designed to hook viewers and amplify your reach. Go to positivetalkradio.net/lyric vids. That's positivetalkradio.net/LYRICVIDS now to get started. Welcome back to Positive Talk Radio. We hope you enjoyed learning about our affiliate Lyric Vids, who specialize in creating captivating animated lyric videos. Now let's get back to the show.
Oh my goodness, and welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald and his sidekick, Rochelle. And Rochelle is learning so much. And by the way, Giovanna, I just wanted to say that thank you for coming and doing the show with me and with us, because it is having an impact on people that you and I'll never meet. It's because
I'm
they're
honored to
listening
be
to the
here.
show.
I do know this, that when you learn, I call the secrets of life. You know, life is a journey here. And when you learn the truth of who you are and how powerful you are, you cannot keep it to yourself, because you understand that the world needs to come together as one. So, Rochelle, you're waking up. Kevin, you've been awake a long time ago. And, you know, and I can tell and I can feel it, right? And we're here spreading information to really help the viewers understand whatever's going on within you. Know that, you know, again, I'll say the word God because that's what I'm used to, but there's something bigger than you that created us to come to this world, not to suffer, you know, not to suffer, but to help each other. And you must believe and have faith, you know, but faith with no action means nothing. We must have faith, knowing that, because faith is a state of mind, is an active state of mind. You get to choose. Are you going to be in faith or are you going to be in fear? You can only pick one. Your mind cannot handle both. You must have just one. So what side are you on that is making you feel the way you feel? When you recognize that, you have the choice, and that is one thing that we've been given, is the right to make choices, to step into what you want and have faith that you deserve it. You are worthy to receive the best that life has to offer, and don't let anyone tell you anything different.
Well, I'd have to say, Giovanna, there's one thing that you taught me. I just shared this with my younger cousin last night. I remember when we were talking, and you told me What if you treated yourself and saw yourself as one of the people that you love the most? And as Kevin was saying before, this younger generation, they're looking outward. They don't want
Yeah.
to focus inward because they don't really know what's there. And I literally told her that last night, and that's for everybody to hear. If you looked in the mirror and treated yourself and saw yourself as somebody that you love the most, it will change your entire life. And do it. Look at yourself and tell yourself that you love yourself and believe it.
And I will give you some tips, if I may, real quick.
You may go ahead.
Is every morning, get up and write 3 things you're grateful for before you get your day started.
Yeah.
And write the affirmations. I am worthy to receive the best that life has to offer. Repeat it, auto-suggestion, hear it all the time, over and over again. Because it comes down to we have to believe it first. And then the
Right.
outside will give you what you believe. Right?
Yep.
So believe that you deserve the best and you're worthy to receive the best and you're beautiful just the way you are. You know, we tend to look at the outside and compare. Don't compare yourself. You're so unique. You know, just like our fingerprints, no one fingerprint is the same. No one has fingerprints the same. So there's no need to compete. You're bringing out gifts that are uniquely to you, and you came here to discover what those gifts are.
Yeah.
And
Get
it's
curious.
so important, you know, every morning, take the time to honor yourself first. And that's what I do in the morning before I get my
Yeah.
day started.
Well, thank you so much
Giovanna,
for that piece of advice.
oh, thank you. Hey, Giovanna, we've just got a minute and a half left, but
Yes.
I want to make sure we get the information, your information out so that people can find you. First of all, everybody needs a coach. I think you would be a dynamite one to have.
Well, thank
And
you.
and so give us the information. If somebody who's listening, and there are several that would like to work with you, and don't know how, tell them how.
You can go to Sparking Change now and fill out the form, find the Connect With Me form, and just fill out your name. I can get back to you. You can go to GiovannaTartarone.com, same thing, fill out a form, and I'll be happy to connect with you. You know, it's all about helping each other here. And
And also the book. Everybody go get that book.
I thought I had it here with me.
It
Here
was the Remind Me Power of
Yeah.
the Rainbow.
The Power of the
Yep.
Rainbow.
Beautiful.
And the television shows.
Sparking Change with Gigi. If you find me on Facebook, on YouTube channel, and it's on E360 TV Live as well.
Very cool. And thank you so much for doing what you do. Will you come back and we're not done yet. There's so much more. We could talk for several hours. We really
Well,
could.
thank you so much to you and your viewers and Brichelle. I mean, I feel so connected to say that we're in a mission. We're in a mission to, I'll use the word wake up people, because it's when you're awake that you realize, wow, I deserve to have this. And just know that we always had coaches in our lives. And now we're like finding ourselves lost. Why? Because we're focused on the outside. We need to go in, focus on the inside. And this is where the magic is. This is where the miracles happen. I promise you. So
We have a tendency to not believe the one person that we should love and know the most, and that's ourselves.
beautiful. It all starts with us. Absolutely.
Again, Giovanna has been our guest. Your last name, say it, please. You say it so
Tartarone.
pretty.
Tartarone. You can
Thank
call me
you so much.
Gigi. Is it easier for you? Call me Gigi.
There's a lot of Gigi would be easier for me. And Rochelle, thank you much for being here, my friend.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you for having me. I appreciate you and your time so much, Giovanna, and I'll be
my
reaching
pleasure.
out personally to communicate. So we love you
Awesome.
here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thanks for listening to this episode of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Our purpose is to provide everyone with a positive, entertaining, and educational experience. I would love your feedback and comments about the show, including possible topics and great guest suggestions. Please email me at kevin@kmmedia.pro. And remember, be kind to one another because each other's all we've got. That's Kevin